From Russia, the Kremlin says, with a straight face, it's seriously concerned about a flare-up in violence in eastern Ukraine. May have to do something about that, I guess is what they're implying. It also says, it takes weeks to deploy forces for military exercises, and it's going to take time to withdraw them. It can't be done in a day. Those comments come after a senior official in the Biden administration told reporters last night that Russia has not withdrawn troops from the border, with Ukraine disputing Moscow's claim that it was pulling back some forces. The official said as many as 7,000 troops have been added to the region in recent days, bolstering the 150,000 that were already there. The official warned that Moscow could launch a false pretext to invade Ukraine at any moment. I was reading your paper again today, Andrew, on the front page, New York Times, where we just cop to it. We say, look, to some extent, the battle between the West and Moscow has been all about signaling. We keep signaling that an attack is imminent to keep international pressure on Russia to try to prevent it. They keep signaling that they're moving back or listen. The term gaslighting, I didn't realize it's a great term because it describes a lot of things. And I realize I've been doing it for years, gaslighting.
Realize that?
Just realize it. But is that not gaslighting that they see? Well, they're concerned about violence in eastern Ukraine. That's the pretext.
This is the pretext that we've been waiting for.
If it turns out that they're lying about withdrawing troops, and if it turns out that, some of this looks so obvious, it almost looks like a bad, soap opera, because they expect us to believe this patently false propaganda. And I guess, you know what? That's Russia. That's the Soviet Union. That's what we've been seeing for decades and decades and decades. If they finally do invade, this is just really distasteful.
Look, the other concerning thing is that Andrew pointed out earlier this week they wouldn't do it during the Olympics because he doesn't want to offend President Xi of China, who's his new friend. Well, guess what? We're getting to the end of the Olympics. Does it look like they're adding troops? Yep. Does it look like they are pulling back?
Yeah, but they really do play us. But then I worry that we're getting played by.
It's not us they're playing.
We play our own. We're not getting played by our own administration, Ari, about whether. But
you think that we're playing them? I don't.
No,
I don't think it's an equal.
They say it's signaling on both ends, and somewhere the truth is in the middle.
Yeah, but gaslighting is like it's raining outside, and I tell you it's sunny somehow, and right. That's sort of what's happening here.
I think we don't know what Putin's thinking.
This is suddenly it's like there's still hope that a conflict, Moscow says, can be averted. You are the conflict. What are you talking about? There was nothing going on that border until you sent 150,000 troops there to begin what might be a conflict. What do you mean a conflict might? What's the and then they say, well, there's some things happening in eastern Ukraine that we're uncomfortable with. Violence in eastern Ukraine?
Well, what about the idea that the Duma just said this week that they want to recognize those separatists in eastern Ukraine? What do they think is happening there?
Well, if it finally happens, all the stuff, the poisoning, the disappearances of people, Navalny, all these things, this is a bad regime. I guess, a $1 billion palace, on the Black Sea. All these things this is a pretty net. I'm afraid I don't want to get an umbrella stuck up my rear for saying. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I get poison tipped them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Bad actors.